Welcome back, you lovely bunch. Welcome to a very sleepy, I'm still quite tired morning. I did actually start the day with a win. I was walking back from dropping the kid at school and then I realised that I forgot to put the bins out, right? I saw the bin men taking everyone's bins and I made it home in time to get the bin out. So I got my bin emptied and I thought I wasn't going to get my bin emptied. So to me, I've just started the day winning. But the rest of this vlog is going to be slightly more interesting than me putting my bins out. Well, hopefully. You know, it's a bit of a controversial one today. The highway code here in the UK has changed and there've been a load of new rules added to help protect like vulnerable road users, which are essentially like cyclists, pedestrians and people on horses or camels, dragons, or if you're riding a sheep around. Anyway, they've made a few changes. There's that whole classic thing in the UK where like TV channels get like some pro motorist on and some like cyclist that hates motorists and they all like have a fight about it and no one uses common sense. We continue this war on like motorists versus cyclists and you know what I mean? It's like, all right. Most of us cyclists drive cars as well. So can we quit with the whole like, I wasn't going to get into this straight away, but honestly, let's quit with the whole like road tax, don't pay road tax. But how many of you do not have a driving licence? So road tax was abolished ages ago. Like that's the whole thing. So totally useless argument. But anyway, my point is there's this whole like sensationalist like media where they love an argument and they love a fight. So it's really hard just to have a normal conversation about like what the new rules are and what it means and which ones will protect us and how we should interpret that. So I can talk to you about a few of the changes that I feel are actually quite important and quite good, and other ones, well, I'm just going to tell you what I think of them. We should actually be riding around and like putting these new rules, well, to use. Let's have a little bit of a pedal, go down to like a busy bustling city of Newton Abbot, and I'm going to chat to you about all these changes and what it means for you and me, all of us. So I can talk to you guys about this properly. I've got them to close this road. See, influence, mate. So what happens when you're like an internet poser, you can get them to shut down roads because you want to do a vlog. First one I'm going to talk about is like your positioning on the road, right? So now you are actually encouraged as a cyclist to position yourself in the middle of the lane like you're a car, which like makes complete sense, right? And I do that a lot of the time. Rather than ride like in the gutter, you should position yourself like in the centre of the road, not like in the middle like on the dotted line, but in the middle of the lane as if you're a car, which is what you kind of should do most of the time anyway. I'm going to be honest, but this to me, like, it shouldn't be applied 100% of the time. I watched a couple of things on these new rules, right? And one of them was like This Morning or Good Morning Britain. And honestly, this woman on a bike, right, was so sketchy and wobbly, like, should not even be on the road, number one. Like, please just stick to the cycle lanes until you've learnt to, like, maybe look behind you about veering across, like, 5 lanes of traffic. And then... And then you don't ride in the middle of the lane the entire time, especially if you're going like 2 miles an hour. So like one of the big things for me is the interpretation of these rules. So a lot of people are going to be like, right, it says I can ride in the middle of the lane the whole time, so I'm going to do it whatever speed I'm doing. It's really great to have that like written down so you're allowed to do that without getting shouted at by motorists. But honestly, you shouldn't do it all the time. So it should depend on a few things, like the speed you're going, the road you're on, like how wide that road is, how much traffic there is behind you. Like if you're riding up a hill and there's not enough room for someone to overtake you when you're riding in the middle of the road and you could move over slightly towards the curb and they could safe pass you, like surely it's better to be nice and do that. You know, you don't have to slow down, you just have to move a bit, than not hold up an entire row of traffic. So like if you get stuck behind a horse, you know, you go slow, you pass it. If you're stuck in a traffic jam, you have to wait. If you're stuck behind a cyclist, you have to wait. Once the road opens up, or if there's a bit of space and you might need to move over away from that centre line, that's fine. But on the whole, it's a good change. You know, you can ride in the centre of the lane, you can ride like defensively, like it makes you more visible. It's a really good rule, you know, and then you can't get moaned at for it. I mean, drivers will still moan at cyclists for riding in the middle of the road, but like at certain speeds and certain times, it's fine. Like the corner up there that I just did, like I can't ride in the centre of the road because if there's a car coming towards me, it could like veer into my lane slightly because it's really narrow. So you have to just use a bit of common sense. Anyway, not a bad rule. I think it's quite a good one. It's just how many drivers are going to like read them and learn and then like actually adhere to them. Look, there's no sheep today, but check out these guys. Are you okay? What are you doing? Hey? So if cars are travelling under 30 miles an hour, they need to give cyclists 1.5 metres of room. If they're going over 30 miles an hour, they need to give 2 metres. And if you're overtaking a horse, then you need to be going 15 miles an hour and always give 2 metres of room. Oh, and also large vehicles always need to leave 2 meters of room, like always, whether they're over or under 30 mile an hour. When I was riding down that hill, like it's a pretty fast road, cars can go like 30 mile an hour, I'm going like 20, 25. So like I move over to the curb, so it gives them a little bit of room so they can overtake me. And they might not be going past me at like 1.5 meters, but honestly, I don't really mind. Like, it depends on your location, the circumstances. You know, it's not like they're on the motorway going like 90 mile an hour. You know, they're going like 10 mile an hour faster than me, which isn't a lot. And so when I move over, I'm kind of indicating to them that it's okay for them to pass. And if I didn't want them to overtake me, I'd move over into the centre of the road and control my space. So one of the really good things about this rule is, like, it gives you the choice whether you control that lane or you let people pass. But again, for me, the big thing is, it's like common sense, you know? Like, I don't need to ride in the middle of the lane now. Like, there's nothing, what am I being defensive against? These new changes were not put in place to like antagonise car drivers or to give like cyclists some sort of weapon to attack like car drivers with all the time, you know? There'd always be those people that do that. But like, reality is, they've just been put in place to make like vulnerable road users safer. I mean, it's not really like the end of the world, is it? There's been a lot of like money and stuff put into like putting cycle passing, such as this, you know? By doing this, by improving like traffic laws, all that sort of stuff, and like making motorists more aware, hopefully it should encourage people to cycle. A lot of these changes, like, it's really good to have them written down, you know? So like I said, there's that accountability, but like realistically, you need to use a bit of common sense. Everyone's human, isn't it? And everyone makes mistakes. I might not see something, I might misinterpret like where someone's going to go. So like, you can't control how like other people act, but we can control how we react to other people. Cool, look at me all philosophical. But you know what I mean? Sometimes people might not see you, but like at the end of the day, if you're all right and they didn't actually hit you, let's not like get pissed off about hypotheticals. Right, before I go into the final change, I'm not saying these changes are only put in there for people that live in cities. I mean, look where I live, you know? So the biggest impact for these changes will be in the city and city riding. And one of the biggest problems for cyclists is... What's that noise? I think it's a cockerel. It's not my cock, someone else's cock. It's over there, it's really loud. What was I saying? Left turning, like across you. So you'll be riding along, chilling, it's coming up to like a junction, matey boy decides to overtake you and like hard left turn in front of you, either takes you out or makes you slam on your brakes. It's so annoying, I'm gonna be honest. So the change that's been made is, if you're a cyclist riding along and there's a car next to you and it wants to turn left, it has to wait until you've passed that junction before going past you. Something that just should be common sense to every car driver anyway. Like, I don't know why like you'd like cut across someone, because basically if you, again, slow someone down, whether they're on a bike, a horse, if you're a cyclist massively slowing down loads of cars, and it would have only taken you 2 seconds to wait, and it would have been clear and less dangerous, why would you not do that anyway? So what this change has done is it's now put that like responsibility on car drivers. So if you're going to left turn across my front wheel and take me out, well, that's your fault, which is what it should be anyway. And as a cyclist, if you're about to turn left into a junction and there's a pedestrian that's about to walk in the road, you have to stop for them. Like I said, most cyclists do have driving licenses, but ultimately we want the roads to be safe for like minors, like children, to ride on the road and not, you don't feel like they're going to be run over every 2 seconds by some numpty like driving a car like a nutter. You get numpty drivers and you get numpty cyclists, numpty pedestrians. There's a lot of stupid people in the world, and all these changes have done is they've just made people that are going to be idiots now have to take responsibility for the action of being an idiot. Like, that's all it's done. So now that accountability is now assigned to someone. As a cyclist, I have to watch out for pedestrians, and as a car driver, I have to watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and horse riders. So it's like a hierarchy, you know? But like, it's a backwards hierarchy. It's not like who's the toughest. Like, cars are least vulnerable, so they're at the bottom. Then cyclists, they're like a little bit less vulnerable than horse riders, so they're next. Then you've got like horse riders, and then you've got pedestrians. It just makes sense, right? So let me know what you think of these changes. Point your finger, all serious. I'm interested to know your thoughts. I mean, I think they're just good, you know. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to go and enjoy my ride and use my common sense. Take care, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.